Hi, I'm Darren from Isotonic Studios, and today I'll be running through a few more bits of Macrobat, part of ClyphX Pro. As I play even more and get deeper with it, I find it absolutely essential. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the template that I built for my push to DJ with, and one of the racks that is just a time-saving wonder. So follow along with me. Let's go and get push 2 out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is this chain selector rack. It's really very simple. It just has to be named with square brackets, CS in between, and I'm going to name one of my macros CS. Now ordinarily, if I wanted to move the chain selector, I would first open mapping, click on it, and map it to one of the macros. But those macros basically work from 1 to 127. So in this case, as I've only got, what's that, nine chains, then I'd have to change the ranges. So it went from 0 to 9. So a full turn of the dial would take me through my 9 chains there. Now, alternatively, I could extend and equally distribute the ranges. But when I add another rack, I have to redistribute, redo the ranges and fiddle about with everything. So effectively what this CS in square brackets does is dynamically look after, as you notice as I turn up, the range of the chain selector. So at the full it will be at the top, so let's stick it to full 127, and that takes me to the final point. 127. Now if I wanted to go crazy, do that a bit. Wait for my live to catch up. Let's move these a bit further. Oh, I pressed that a bit too fast. Okay, so let's drag a few of these. 11, 12, 13, 14, etc. Now ordinarily I'd have to redo the ranges, redo the macro, but with this literally allows me to go to the full number of chains that I've got. Simple, time saving, generally awesome. Right, we showed you a little bit of this in the first video. I'm going to hide away what we're going to go through when it comes to do the receive and send, and if there's enough comments in the video, what I'll do is I'll share this set of the 8 tracks so that you're ready to rock and roll with DJing on the push. But what I do have here, let's go to the Macrobat Rack, is a Macrobat Track rack. Now this is kind of a combo rack as well, how I've got it set up, because I've also got a chain in there, and that chain contains my DJ EQ. So I've got my bass, my mid, my high, and I've macro mapped those here. And what I'll also do is I'll take the reverb, no, I'll take the fade to distort out, and I'll just leave myself with reverb. So obviously the standard would be that the rack works in the standard way, controlling the macros that it's mapped onto. Simple. But this is where the Macrobat comes in. The naming of each macro here, vol, pan, send A, send B, well, as you can guess from the previous videos, they do exactly what they've said on the tin. So if I change the volume, notice that the track volume itself is going to change as well. So with one device control view, I've got everything from a track volume, pan, send A, send B. One of the things that does annoy me a little bit though, when you do volume mapping, and especially with MIDI controllers, it's far too easy to go past the 0 and go to plus 6 dB. Now you could always put a utility on the track at minus 6 dB, but then you're always fiddling about with stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this volume 1, and I'm going to call it 0 dB. Very simple. So the full 127 range now will only take me to the 0 dB. Cool. So this is what I've been building. So I've got my DJ EQ and FX rack, and it's got bass, mid, high and gain. I always have gain, used to having a DJ mixer that has my volume controls and then a gain for tweaking on top. But I've also got a reverb effect that goes up to around about 120 and then cuts out to give you a sidechain pump effect. Fade to distort, a low pass and high pass. And I've got those set up so that they're actually controlled by this DJ sender rack. So as I move, obviously standard kind of Ableton Live stuff. Now, ordinarily, what you would do is you would work across your tracks and select each one in turn. And I want to change my bass here on track number 3. Now I want to quickly go back and I'm doing it on track number 1. But I can't look after each of these individual parameters across 8 tracks. That is unless, of course, you've got on your master track a set of receivers. Now, if I expand these, each one of these is focused on a different macro in our DJ EQ and effects rack. In fact, I've got 8 here. And like I said, if enough people comment, I'll speak to Stray nicely and see if he can include this template within the download. But in each case, we've got a rack that looks after a parameter, but across 8 tracks. So as I'm playing away and I'm doing my usual bits and pieces in session mode, triggering my clips, etc., what I can do is quickly flick to the master, and across the top here, it will tell me bass, mid, high, gain, reverb, fade to distort, low pass, high pass. So if I wanted to look after the reverbs, I've got it across all 8 tracks. Let's just do that. I'll put the odd numbers at full and the even numbers at 0. And then if we just quickly go back, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Let's do it the other way. Let's do it bi-directional, and we'll take that off there. On, off, on, off, on, off, on. Let's go to the master. And as you can see, bi-directional control. Really and truly, the push 2, if I was to do this with Max for Live, and believe me, I have, I'd have probably spent 2 days making all of that work. But now, because I've got these receivers set up and I've got these senders set up, if I want to switch out the DJ EQ FX or make it more complex, as long as I map to my high level, basically, I've got the push 2 as a DJ mixer. Thanks for watching.